G'day, welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt, but you all know me as WFX Malice. Now, I know it's been a minute since my last video. I say this way too often. There's been a lot going on in my life, but I think after the video I put out about 4 or 5 videos ago about the cancer reveal, I think some of you might have a little bit of understanding, a little bit of compassion as to why I take breaks from YouTube from time to time. I started returning to work. A week and a half back at work. I was really enjoying myself. My last video with the laptop repair was basically my first day back at work. I had a medical review with the work doctors or the workplace health safety doctors who deemed that I wasn't fit for return to work just yet. So that was Wednesday last week. I was pretty upset about it. So I had planned on doing more videos in this time, but at the same time, I really didn't feel like jumping in front of the camera. So my apologies there, which sort of brings us to today's video. It's an unboxing. Now, I just sold my old laptop because I've purchased another laptop. Now, it's not a brand new laptop. This is my old laptop. It's a dinosaur. You can see by how thick it is. This is 10 years old. I've had this for years and really well looked after. 16 gigabyte of RAM. It's got 1 gigabyte dedicated graphics. It's got an SSD plus a mechanical hard drive. i7, second generation i7. It boots up as quick as most modern laptops and it runs more applications than most modern laptops. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't do video editing. And well, since work's given me another 4 months off work, I figured maybe I should start doing a little bit of traveling. But if I'm gonna travel, I wanna be able to edit my videos on the go. So that brings us to this bad boy here. This is a Metabox Prime. I picked this up on eBay recently for about $1,000 give or take. Not a bad steal considering it's an i7 with 32 gig of RAM and dual hard drive. So we're gonna pop this box open and we're gonna make this an unboxing video and let's have a bit of a look. I have cut a little bit of tape on the sides because I don't want to sit here randomly just stabbing away at a box with a knife while you guys sit and cringe, waiting for me to slice my hands open. So this is a bit I pre-did because I knew that was going to cause me some issues. Who tapes the handling? What sort of monster does that? Seriously. Spin this around so that we can see what's going on inside here. I am trying to do an overhead view as well, and I don't know how this is going to work out, so apologies if this looks terrible. Just going to get everything out of the box. I think this is going to be easier because this is just too awkward. So we start, the guy has included all of my device driver, CDs, user manual, and Windows 10 CD. Now, for those who don't know, Metabox make custom laptops. So you tell them what you want and they will make your laptop to suit. So I guess selling one of these is a little bit more difficult than say selling a Lenovo ThinkBook. So he did include the laptop bag with it. Nothing special, just a nice protective case for traveling so you can put all your accessories inside. And considering I do plan on traveling with this, that's going to be crucial for me. So the laptop itself, I didn't actually get a side profile picture of it when I purchased it, so I'm actually glad. This is fairly thin. I was expecting this to be as thick as this bad boy. So if we put them side by side, a lot of Metaboxes are fairly thick. It's a lot like Alienware. Alienware, I didn't want to get an Alienware because they're just cringeworthy. Just all the features and all the lighting, but you can see for a gaming laptop with 6 gigabytes of dedicated graphic, that is fairly thin on the back end of it. And there we go, so 15-inch screen. I believe it's only a 1080 screen. Alright, so we've got our ICE power cord, or IEC power cord, excuse me. Just a standard kettle plug. The power brick, now this is really a brick. What do we got? 19 volt, 10.5 amps. So yeah, 190, 200 watt power brick right there. Yeah, 200 watt it says, so it's pretty hefty, that one. It's got a lot of weight to it. Girth Nation right there. Cold startup on the Metabox 650 Prime. As you can see, lovely green lit keyboard. We've got the Metabox logo, loads up, doesn't even show Windows logo, which I really like. Any less advertising to Microsoft products is good in my case. So there we go, we're up at Windows already. It wasn't too long, not quite as quick as my desktop PC, but my desktop PC is a Ryzen 7 3700, so for an old 6th gen i7, this isn't too bad. I'm actually really impressed with that. So I did manage to confirm, we do have a 500GB SSD, a 1TB mechanical hard drive. There we can see we have an Intel i7 6700 HQ 2.6 GHz, 32 gig of RAM, 64-bit operating system. And is it Windows Pro or Windows Home? I didn't actually check. Windows Home, unfortunately. So next thing from here, I'm gonna go and install all the Adobe products. So I get Adobe Premiere Pro, Media Encoder. I'm gonna copy one of my YouTube videos onto this that I've already uploaded to YouTube. And I'm going to run a speed comparison. So I'm going to try and render the video on my desktop at the exact same time I try to render it on my new mobile workstation. And I just want to get a bit of a comparison to see if the desktop, even though it's running a Ryzen 7 3700, it's still only got a Vega 64 AMD graphics card, whereas this one 6GB 1060 GTX, I believe. So I'm interested to see the comparison between the two, because I'm thinking about upgrading my graphics card but not quite sure, and if I can get as good speed if not better out of a 1060, maybe it's time to upgrade the desktop. Alright, let's shut this down and let's go and get that thing booted up. So looking at the available ports on the right hand side, front to rear, we've got headphone, microphone, speakers. We've got a SIM card slot, SD card slot, 2x USB-Cs, USB 3 and a RJ45 network port. Spinning it around to look at the left hand side, so rear to front, we've got quite a large vent there, HDMI output, USB 3 and 2 display ports. And now taking a look at the back, we've got a large vent that runs most of the way across the back there, power port and USB 3 connector, so giving us a total of 3 USB 3s. Okay, so I've gone ahead and installed Premiere Pro and Media Encoder on the new laptop. It's running the identical versions with the exact same updates as the desktop. Both have the latest Windows updates. They're both running identical versions of Windows, apart from we have the Pro on the desktop and Home on the laptop. Both have the latest graphics card updates. Both running the same drivers, or the newest drivers I should say. We've got the NVIDIA GTX 1060 Ti 6GB here, and on the desktop we're running the AMD Vega 64 8GB. So also running a Ryzen 7 3700 on the desktop, and we've got a 6th gen i7 on the laptop. So I'm just going to hit export at the same time. So we can see the desktop jump straight ahead there. We're looking at about 4 to 5 minutes. The laptop is sitting around about the 13 to 15 minute mark. So we're obviously going to get a lot faster out of the desktop at the first glance. Now I should say that Adobe Premiere Pro and Media Encoder on both systems is installed on an SSD, and the media that we're encoding is being taken from a mechanical hard drive on both systems and is being encoded to a mechanical hard drive on both systems. Now we're rendering 4K graphics on both systems, We've got identical bit rates. All the settings are exactly the same in the video, so there's no difference between them. It is identical video. It's a clip that I did earlier in the year on trimming the fat with Windows 10. Now, at 15 minutes, we're obviously a lot slower than the desktop. However, there is some serious settings you can go through on the studio driver for the NVIDIA card. Now, this is obviously straight out the box, so I can tweak this a lot more to suit. The other thing is I'm not running this on a power supply at the moment, so this is running off the battery. So I also sort of picturing that maybe there's some performance boosts if we plug it in using the power supply. I did try to render this exact same clip on my old laptop just as a bit of a buffer, just so I could work out where we're at, just as a benchmark, and I was looking at well over an hour to render this exact video on my old laptop. So I wasn't expecting that this would beat the desktop, considering that this is a much newer processor. It's got a lot more threads, a lot more cores on the Ryzen than the i7. So obviously AMD CPUs these days have surpassed Intel in a dramatic way. Intel are still picking up the pieces, trying ever so hard to catch up before getting smashed out of the industry. However, the GTX 1060 Ti I thought would have beat the Vega 64. I've had a lot of friends tell me, oh, 1060s, it's way better than any AMD graphics card on the market. Not the case, guys. Well, definitely not the case for the laptop versions of these graphics cards. As I said, I can still tweak these settings a little bit in the driver, but I don't think I'm gonna get it down to this sort of speed. Look, I might be able to shave that down to a 10-minute render, I think, maybe. I don't think it's gonna keep up to the desktop. Well, it was a good comparison just to see how it does run. I'm not going to do a games comparison because I didn't buy this for gaming. I bought this mainly for doing video rendering. I want to be able to take this thing everywhere I go so I can do videos on the go and keep you guys up to date. Well, I'm not going to let you sit there and watch this right down to the end, but thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.